On Sunday, 2023 cornerback Trey Miller committed to UNC. The 5'9", 165-pound Oklahoma native is a high three-star, ranked 514 in the nation. He's the 52nd ranked cornerback. Don, tell us about Trey Miller's recruitment and how he ended up committing to UNC right before the dead period after his official visit to UNC.
So he's actually a little bit of a mystery, mostly because he spent this offseason doing a lot of transferring. He played at Hoover High School in Alabama, one of the top programs in the nation. Definitely one of the top programs in Alabama the past couple of seasons. He initially transferred to IMG Academy. For those who cover recruiting, you know what IMG is. And then ended up at Oklahoma. I think his family moved out there and will be playing there for Deer Creek High School this fall. That kind of added to the mystery because he doesn't do a whole lot of interviews. You know, he did a few during the spring, and then obviously we caught up with him following his commitment to North Carolina. The other thing was that North Carolina was his only visit in June, and it was an official visit. And essentially, you know, he went on the visit, committed on the visit, and ended his recruitment with very little, looking at anywhere else. He did take some visits in the spring, mostly to Auburn. I think he also made it out to Florida State. But this was a situation where, you know, he really connected with the coaches and just wanted to check out the school. The school checked out, and then he committed and ended his recruitment.
How did UNC find him, bouncing around from Alabama, IMG, and now in Oklahoma?
So I think initially they found him when he was at IMG. Gotcha. And I mean, it's probably the most covered high school in the nation. So it's not that hard, you know, and they do a lot of different showcases, and they make sure their practices, their footage is available for coaches and all that sort of stuff. So it's actually not that difficult to find a guy at IMG. Now they didn't start. That's when North Carolina actually offered him, when he was at IMG. But as far as like making evaluation visits, he was in Oklahoma when I guess during the spring when Dre Bly and Gene Chizik went up and visited and watched a couple of his practices live.
All right, and Dale Miller, cornerback at 5'9", 165. What type of player is he? A little bit undersized. We know that UNC defensive backs coach Charlton Warren doesn't mind having a corner on the small end. Tell us about what he's going to bring to Tar Heels when he enrolls next year.
Yeah, and Dre Bly also doesn't mind, you know, shorter corners, because Dre wasn't a tall corner when he played in the NFL and played in North Carolina, and that was kind of part of this too. But you know, he's a cover guy, you know, and if you watch his film, I mean, he's playing at the highest level in Alabama, and so while a lot of other corners are projections, you know, with athleticism that you hope kind of convert and be molded into a cornerback, this is a guy who has been able to kind of show what he's able to do basically in a league that's, you know, as close as you're going to get to, you know, the college level as far as a throwing situation is. And, you know, you watch his film, he breaks the ball very quickly, you know, has good understanding of what's going on around him. You know, he contributes in run support, those sort of things, but he's definitely a cover guy.
All right. Dale Miller commits to UNC, becomes, I believe, the 7th commitment to the Tar Heels in the 2023 class.